All right, guys, we're back with the Screen Team, and I got Guy on the show. And, of course, we're getting ready to talk about one of the biggest movies horror-wise in 2018. The movie is called Halloween. We've got Guy. And, Guy, first off, let's talk about this movie. This is a sequel to the original Halloween. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Basically, what they did is they retconned everything. They said Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... H2O, Resurrection, and the reboots don't exist anymore.
So they're gone. They're scrapped. We've got a clean slate, if you will. Did the clean slate help with the story?
Actually, yes, it does. In this case, it does help with the story. The establishment of Laurie actually being the sister of Michael Myers, that wasn't introduced until Halloween 2. So they retconned that with a simple throwaway line of, that's an urban legend, it wasn't the truth. And they only knocked it down to the 3 that were killed in the original film, not the additionals that they killed in Halloween 2. But it really does help in establishing the way that things work. What also helps is the fact that you not only have Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis returning, you have John Carpenter returning to executive produce, and you have Nick Castle, the original Shape, Michael Myers, returning to reprise his role. So it's kind of letting everybody get the right things right.
So let's talk a little bit about the story a little bit. Where is the Shape? Where is Michael Myers? Where is he after we left him in the first Halloween movie?
After being shot 6 times by his psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis, he was taken to Smiths Grove Sanitarium again. He's been there for 40 years.
Okay, so he's there. He's he's doing what he's doing. Where's Laurie at? Is she, because from the trailer it looks like Laurie's having a tough time and she's ready to kick some butt.
Laurie basically shut herself up in a survivalist compound and has lived with PTSD from that night for 40 years. And what they're essentially doing is making it where she seems like this just crazy lady that, this bad thing happened to you, but you've got to let it go. You've got to get over it. He's not coming back. He's in an institution. It's not going to, nothing's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michael gets out, and they realize, no, she was right to be, this concerned the entire time, and really, she was correct the whole time.
So tell me, Guy, did you like this version of Halloween?
Honestly, I loved it.
And why was that?
Because it felt like a continuation. It felt like the natural progression of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas other ones, did the whole cult of Thorn and the daughter of Laurie, which you never knew about, who turns out to be, insane and going nuts and then can't speak. This honestly feels like the natural progression of what you had from 1978. This is the next chapter. This is how the story should go.
Yeah.
They relied on what made the original frightening. I think I counted a grand total of only like 2 jump scares in the whole thing. It was all done with atmosphere, the way it should be done. There was one point that I was worried about. I was really worried about.
What's that?
The new doctor, who has been trying to get through to Michael for the last 20-some-odd years since Loomis passed away. I was really worried because he kept saying, what is it like to wear the mask? What is it like to feel like that? I've always wondered from Michael. I've tried to get him to talk, and he never will talk. At which point, he gets hit with the car and shot, and they think he's dead. And the doctor puts on Michael's mask. And the first thought in my head was, please don't go down this route, that this is where we're going to go with the evil being passed through the mask.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Thankfully, Michael comes to, grabs him, and stomps his head in, and his brains pour out. So he's fine. They don't go that way. But I was worried. I was legitimately worried that they'd go that route. And if they did, it would have been a slap in the face of everybody who likes this franchise.
Now, you had mentioned there are a few jump scares. How were some of the scenes that were supposed to be? I've heard that some of the scenes were kind of brutal in this movie. Is that true?
They are. It's very grindhouse, very visceral.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some of the kills in the original Texas Chainsaw felt very weighty, very heavy in the way that they were presented, that it almost felt like you were watching almost a snuff film as opposed to a movie.
Yeah.
They have a couple sequences in here where it kind of feels in the same vein. It feels very brutal, very visceral, and there was moments where I honestly was really surprised that they actually went for it, because it would have been so easy in the main Hollywood system to just play it safe, to go down the right path and just, make it as palatable as you could for pretty much anybody. And the fact that they stuck to their guns and said, no, we're going to give the fans what they come to see. They came to see, a brutal, unstoppable killing machine. That's what we've promised them, and that's what we're going to give them. And I absolutely respect that.
So you like the movie. Is this going to be a movie that's going to be in the McAndrew household for years to come? Is this something you want to rewatch?
Yes. What I'll probably end up doing is whenever I do our franchises or anything like that, I'll probably do this. I may do the other Halloween movies just because, but if I want to show just a nice flow story, the original Halloween and this one will definitely be there as very, very straightforward. This is how we're going to enjoy ourselves.
So I'm curious. I know that with this film they reconned all the other films. I'm not sure if you're a fan of those films or not, but does this film
no.
Does this film ruin those films for you?
No, not at all. Not at all, because you take things with a grain of salt, because the whole Halloween H2O basically retcons 4, 5, and 6. And then when you have the reboots, that retcons from Halloween H2O and Resurrection. So now this is retconning all of that.
Gotcha.
It really is. If you were to graph out the timelines on this, it literally would look like the tree of life. It's got so many freaking branches.
Well, I've only seen Halloween 1, 2, and I saw the third one, so I've got a lot of catching up to do with the Halloween franchise. So, Guy, I appreciate you giving your insight to this film, and brother, we hope to see you soon, okay?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, that's Guy. I'm Chris. We're part of the Screen Team, and remember, we want you to know before you go.